जय। ॐ अज्ञानतिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome all for today's Bhagavad Gita class. So we are in chapter number 1, verse number 31. Till now, what we saw was in the first verse, we saw Dhritarashtra is asking to Sanjaya that in the place of pilgrimage named as Kurukshetra, my sons and sons of Pandavas have assembled together. So what did they do? And in response to this question, Sanjaya says that do not worry, your sons are not going to compromise. And so Duryodhan has went to Dronacharya to tell about the situation. And then Duryodhana speaks about the situation and tells to Dronacharya that do not be lenient now. You have been lenient before also, but do not be lenient now. And then he speaks about who are the people in opposite army, who are the main warriors. And after that, when he sees that his own army is getting very much distressed and depressed, hearing of the other heroes, he then speaks of his own army heroes who are there in his battlefield. And then after all this commotion, then Bhishma Pitama blows his conch shell to tell Duryodhana that I will do my duty. Do not worry. But anyways, the war is not being won by us because Krishna is on the side of the Pandavas. And then first time Krishna enters in verse number 14. He is taking Arjuna and he's becoming a chariot driver for Arjuna. And then we say the how different conch shells are being blown. And then we see how the hearts of Kauravas are being shattered. And then Arjuna asks Krishna that let me see who are the persons on the battlefield. Will have to uh, take a war. And then we see how Arjuna was being brought between the army and he sees all type of relatives. And therefore, there arose a compassion between him. And we saw this from verse number 28 to 30 that how he says that I will not fight because the first reason is compassion. And today we will see from verse number 31 to 35 that even if we are victorious, there will be no enjoyment because whom will show our enjoyment. So let us start with verse number 31. Nacha shreyo anupashyami hatva swajanam ahave nakangshe vijayam krishna nacha rajam sukhani cha. Na, nor, cha also, shreya, good, anupashyami, do I foresee, hatva, by killing, swajanam, own kingsman, ahave, in the fight, no, not, kankshe, do I desire, vijayam, victory, Krishna, O Krishna, no, not, nor, cha also, rajyam, kingdom, sukhani, happiness, therefore, cha also. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Prabhupada. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle. nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So, purport. Without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. So, whenever we have something, we show to our relatives, and Arjuna is saying that I do not want to kill because there is no good in killing my own kinsmen in the battle. So we are attached because of body relationship, and we always seek happiness with these relationships. Whatever relationship we have in this world are meant for one purpose, to derive happiness. Whatever relation, why people get married, so they can be happy. And if you see any tagline after the movie, and they remain happily thereafter, will be the tagline, and the movie will end there. So this is the primary concern why people go in relationship, but then they get contrary results, and then there are so many things which happen. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies on the battlefield and the person in a renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture and eligible to enter the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. So Krishna, Arjuna doesn't know that how we can get happy. So the cause of material happiness, he doesn't know that one has to fulfill his duty. And therefore, Kshatriya has here forgotten what are the moral codes for a Kshatriya. So moral codes are, if enemy's son is proper and he is doing good, he should not be killed. Whereas one own son, if he is doing injustice or wrong, he should be killed. So this is a general principle which Kshatriyas follow, the codes. But here, Arjuna is not able to follow this because of this weakness of not being able to kill the relatives. And there are two types of person. One is Kshatriya and one is renounced person in renounced order. So sun globe is in a heavenly planet, and to go to sun globe is not easy. So we can, from millions and millions of kilometers away, we can feel the heat here. And if it's the more heat is there, then we use AC and so many things. So if we go close, our body will be gone. Just a bit close. So these are heavenly planets, and to enter heavenly planets, you need to follow certain codes. And only a Kshatriya who has been fighting for a good cause or something for a better cause for dharma, or a renounced order person who follows the principles of renounced order very nicely, he can enter the sun globe. Others, it is very difficult. So Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing kingsmen, there will be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. So Arjuna doesn't want to kill his relatives because he thinks that if he kills his relatives, then there will be no happiness. Example given, if somebody doesn't feel hunger, then why should he cook? Therefore, he thinks like this. So generally, this is not the principle. There are other people also whom he need to cook, or at least one should cook for Lord and offer him bhoga, even if he doesn't cook. Like there was one example in one of the temples. There was two brahmacharis. So one brahmachari told, "Let us make feast." So other thought that he's asking for making feast so that he can eat, and that was an Ekadashi day. So they are both prepared, and everything was done. And the one who told that let us prepare the fish for the person didn't eat only, he was fasting on that day. The other was surprised that why did you cook so much fish if you do want to eat? He told that we have cooked for the pleasure of the Lord, so that the Lord will eat. It is not we who are the center of attraction, it is Lord who is the center of attraction, and therefore we have cooked for him. So this is a principle which is followed. So he has now decided to go into the forest and live a secular life in frustration. But a Kshatriya, as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence because Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. So we see actually according to Sabhava or the guna which a person has acquired, he needs to do certain thing. But he doesn't do that thing and enters another field because of the frustration of that field. So this is not good because at the end, he will not be able to do others' occupation very well. So knowledge can be acquired by a Brahmana, and by that knowledge, he will do Brahmanical work. But if a knowledge is acquired by a Kshatriya, he will do Kshatriya work by acquiring Brahmanical knowledge. He will not do Brahmana's work. So this is a difference between who acquires the knowledge and what is the use of it. And therefore, in previous times, knowledge was given to person according to the gunas, not according to by birth. So depending on what qualities they have, the knowledge was given. And therefore, if we see when Eklavya went to Dronacharya, he was denied knowledge. It was not because of his low birth. It was because he didn't have quality to acquire that knowledge. And if he having been given the knowledge, he would misuse it. He will use in the wrong way because he was from a Nishad clan, and these were people who were very notorious and did many wrong things. So that was the cause why Dronacharya didn't give the knowledge. So many times it is misinterpreted in the Shastra that he was better than Arjuna. No, this was not the case. The case was definitely different others because if you see the same Dronacharya, he gave knowledge to Dhristadyumna, who was destined to kill himself. So that time he didn't say that, no, I will not kill because he's going to kill me. That time he followed the dharma because he's Kshatriya, he's having all the course, he has the moral characters, so let me teach him. And then we see Dhristadyumna kills Dronacharya. So the principles of dharma are very subtle and we should know as it is. So if, by nature, if somebody is Kshatriya, he cannot go and beg. He requires a kingdom. And therefore, if we don't situate persons in their proper dharma and proper guna and karma, they will create havoc in the society. So a Brahmana, if he is given a role of a Kshatriya or in a management, then there will be chaos because he will not be able to do proper management. At the same time, a person who is a manager, if he is given a role of a Brahmana, go and teach, then again there will be chaos. So proper person should be given proper roles, and therefore the role of HR, which we call now in human resources, is very important and very natural. This was also followed before by people in the previous yugas, and therefore the students used to go to Gurukul, and the teacher there, the Gurukul teacher, used to observe the student from 5 to 20, and then he will decide. Lately, he will go to Grahastha Ashram, he will go remain Brahmachari, or he will do this job. This is good for him. This is not good for him. So these were always there, and according to that, he was given he was given proper directions. So this is the should be done, and this is very useful. Otherwise, suppose if Arjuna becomes a sannyasi, so what will happen is he is going to beg, and somebody insults him, then his inner nature will come out and he will take a sword and be ready to kill. But Brahmanas are known for non-violence. They are forgiving. There are so many qualities Brahmanas have, which will not be displayed by Kshatriya because that is not the role of Kshatriya. And Kshatriya need not display these qualities also. So that is not the role of a Kshatriya. So we cannot judge any person uh, depending on the qualities. It also will requires what is the work he has to perform and what is the qualities he needs to done. And then we can see the overall picture. So to know anything, we need to know the overall picture of the person, not the thing itself. So here, Prabhupada is saying that because Arjuna has no kingdom, Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and reclaiming the kingdom, inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secular life of frustration. So he's not going to go to a life in enjoyment. So if it was a person in renounced order, he would enjoy going to the forest life. That would be his natural course. He would like it. But here Arjuna is going out of frustration. I want a kingdom, but for that I need to kill, and I don't want to kill also, so I don't know what to do. Let me go. So most of the people, why they leave a job is not because they don't like it, but because of frustration. And because of frustration, so many people, even they are good, but they leave that position, they leave that job, or they leave the thing which they like. And here Krishna advises, or Srila Prabhupada says, that do not do this. In the long run, you will suffer more than now. And therefore, do your duty equipoisely. So this is what this verse says. So let's go to verse number 32 to 35. किं नो राजेन गोविन्द किं भोगे जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगसुखानि च तैमेव व्यवस्थिता युद्धे प्राणां सक्ता धनानि च आचार्य पितरा पुत्रास्तथैव च पितामहा मातुला स्वासुरा पुत्रा मातुला स्वसुरा पुत्रा शाला सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतन्नु न हन्तुमिच्छामि न तो अपि मधुसूदना अपि त्रैलोक्यराजस्य हेतो किं न मही कृते निहत्या धातराष्ट्राणां न कि का प्रीति स्या जनार्दनाम्. Kim, what use? Na, to us, Rajina is the kingdom. Govinda, O Krishna, Kim, what? Bhoge, enjoyment, Jivitena, living, Va, either, Yesham of whom, Arthe, for the sake, Kankshitam is desired, Na, by us, Rajyam, kingdom, Bhoga, material enjoyment, Sukhani, all happiness, Cha also, Te, all of them, Ime, this, Avasita, situated, Yuddhe on the battlefield, Pranam lives, Takta giving up Dhanani riches, Cha also Acharya teachers, Pitara fathers, Putra sons, Tatha as well as Eva certainly, Cha also Pitamaha grandfathers, Matula maternal uncles, Swasura fathers-in-law, Pautra grandson, Syala brothers-in-law, Sambandha relatives, Tatha as well as Etan, all this, na never, hantum, to kill, ichhami, do I wish, Vinata, killing, api even, Madhusudana, O killer of demon Madhu, Krishna, api, even if, Trailokya, of the three worlds, Rajasya for the kingdom, Hetu in exchange, Kimnu, what to speak of, Mahikrite for the sake of the earth, Nihatya by killing Dhatrashran, the sons of Dhritarashtra, na or ka what preeti pleasure syat will there be janardana o maintainer of all living entities. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Srila Prabhupada. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusuna, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, father-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So, if we see here, Arjuna is saying to Krishna, so here his address is Madhusudana, the killer of Madhu demon. So, indirectly, Arjuna is saying to Krishna, why don't you kill? Because I already killed Madhu demon, why don't you kill? So, you see the specific names which Krishna and Arjuna used to address each other. It signifies the inner thing. And Acharyas tell us, reveal the inner things, what is going in the mind. So when we speak something, something is going in our inside also. And that words come out. And therefore, experts can know us by just what we speak. they can know the inner meaning also. And here acharyas tell us the inner meaning, why these words are used. And here, if we see, all the relatives from 5 generations are there. So from the Arjun's generation, his father's generation, his grandfather's generation, his son's generation, and his grandson. All the 5 generations of people are there for the war. And this is a very significant thing if we can understand. Because to make such relationship deep with all this requires a lot of time and effort. And they have invested a lot of time in all these relationships. And now they're all against the Pandavas and they have to fight. So this is very crucial, because in our lives also now, if we see, the greatest harm which one can do is, or which one can receive, is not from outsiders. The closest relatives are the one who can do us the most harm. If there are outsiders, we can fight them. We are very, very okay. We are very comfortable fighting with outsiders. If you ask me, there is no problem. But our strength comes from our relatives and insiders. If our parents, our sons, or our relatives, which are very close, they fight with us, then even if we have strength, mentally we are exhausted, because we expect affection from them, we expect love and care from them, not fight. And therefore here, Arjuna's situation is very complicated. But then Krishna will resolve everything. Purport. Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of pleasure for cows and senses. By using significant word, Arjuna indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses. But Govinda is not meant for satisfy our senses. If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, however, then automatically our own senses are satisfied. So Arjuna here, again, one more name is used for Krishna is Govinda, because Govinda is one who gives pleasure to cows and senses. This is the general meaning. And Arjuna wants that Krishna should give enjoyment to Arjuna. This is what Arjuna is meaning. But actually, if we see, we need to give pleasure to Krishna, not derive pleasure from him. See that automatically Krishna is giving pleasure to us. If we see all our things, Krishna is doing everything. In one of the purports, Prabhupada writes that why we need to serve Krishna. So if we go on serving Krishna, after some time, we will realize that Krishna is also serving us in so many ways. And this is a very sweet relationship which we need to develop with Krishna and Srimati Radharani, that how we do Adan Pradan of services, how we satisfy them, and they are anyways satisfying us. They are giving so many things for our pleasure. And this is the way we should do the things. So materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses, and he wants God to be the order supplier for his satisfaction. So this is a general thing. Why you want to go to the Lord? Why they offer nariyal, agarbatti, dhoop and everything? Because everyone wants Krishna, please satisfy senses. Please give me a child. Please give me marks in exam. Krishna, please give me finance. Krishna, please solve my this problem, that problem, every problem. Why? Because everyone thinks that my memory and Krishna's power should be used to solve all my problems. But Krishna is saying reverse. Krishna is saying my memory and your power. That is the good combination, not otherwise. But generally, we see when people worship Lord, they come with material desires only. Most of the times, there are very few who wants to serve Lord and wants to give pleasure to the Lord. And therefore, if we see, the devotees are very less. Generally, people call themselves devotees, but actually they are not devotees. Suppose if somebody goes to a god and his desires are not fulfilled, he will leave that god and go to another god. There also, if the desire is not fulfilled, then he will go to some politician, somebody. Whoever fulfills the desire becomes their god. So this is not devotion actually. This is a type of contract where you help me, I will help you. So this is actually not devotion, it's a business thing, which most of the people nowadays do. So here Krishna doesn't want us to do business, and therefore uh, we don't want him to be much order supplier. The Lord will satisfy the senses of living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they may covered. So Krishna will give us happiness, but only what we deserve. And he's giving us all the food, the air, and everything. He's giving us what we deserve, but not what is not good for us. But when one takes the opposite way, namely when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all desires of the living entity are satisfied. It's very important for us to understand. See the spiritual character, how it goes. When we try to satisfy Krishna's senses, automatically all our senses are satisfied. This we cannot understand by our knowledge and all. We need to actually do experiment. The Gyan needs to become Vigyan. Then only we'll be able to understand that if we'll satisfy Krishna, so then what will happen? Suppose there's a big person, very big person who comes to us. And if we try to satisfy him and it is satisfied, then what the reward he will give is very large, big reward he will give us. But if we try to satisfy our senses and tell him, give this, he will tell, oh, he needs petty things. Let me give and let me come. So in this material also, now, if we see, if a big person is satisfied, he will give us very big gift. So what to speak of Krishna, if he is satisfied, what gift he cannot give and what satisfaction he cannot give. And therefore, the calculation works in this way that we satisfy the senses of Krishna, and then Krishna is pleased, then he enemies will give pleasure to us. And this is the way we should do things. Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them. He is therefore not prepared to fight. So here, because Arjuna is a devotee, partly there is also compassion in the heart of Arjuna, which is very natural for a devotee. So when a devotee grows, when he grows in his life, there's also compassion. He doesn't think that I want to grow in devotion only alone. He also thinks that while I am growing, let me share with these others. And that is why we need to do presentation and all. So presentation will help us go deep. At the same time, we can help others. In this way, we get the blessings of Krishna, because we had learned that last time also, the one who gives his message to others is very dear to Krishna, and Krishna gives his blessing. And at the same time, the person who receives this, when he sees, he also understands, he also gives us blessing. That, oh, thank you very much. I got to learn this from you. And this has helped me very much. So in this way, we need to, if we want to accelerate our devotional life, we need to get blessings. If we get blessings from seniors, we get blessings from newcomers and everybody, our spiritual life will go double speed. But if we just think that I will grow on my own strength, how much strength do we have? We cannot satisfy our simple needs also. For our simple needs, we need depend on so many other people. How can we grow devotionally on our own? And therefore, this will go very fast, and this will help us to grow very fast if we simultaneously learn and help others to also learn. In this way, we can go at a much faster pace than with what we expect. And here also, if we see, Arjuna is also thinking of his relatives, and therefore he is not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield, and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is a typical calculation of material life. So if we purchase anything, like we purchase car or a big suit or anything, good jewelry, anything, the first thing we need to do is we need to show it to others. See in our house now, how we live, we put a simple dress. If we see in our house now, we'll have a very simple dress and we'll sit very simply and everything. We'll not wear all the crowns, jewelry and everything. But whenever we go out, what happens? We'll dress very nicely, do all the makeup and everything, or whatever needs to be done, dress very nicely, use the best of the cars, use the best of the sleepers and everything, and then go. Why? Because we need to show others. And this material things actually doesn't give us happiness. What gives us happiness is appreciation from other people. Oh, what a dress you are wearing. What is the new fashion which has come? And if they they appreciate it, that gives us happiness. So therefore, material things cannot give us happiness. And after wearing all these things, if nobody appreciates, if nobody tells that is good, then we will not feeling good. And therefore we demotivate. So happiness doesn't come by material possessions. Happiness comes when we get appreciation from others because of having these material possessions. And therefore, relationships are more important than these possessions. And therefore, if we see here, Arjuna is very much inclined to save all the things. He has so much compassion that he doesn't want even the people from opposite army to be killed. And therefore, this is the one compassion which Arjuna carries. And the other side which Prabhupada shows us is, whom will he show the abundance? Because 5 generations have been killed. The grandfather, the father, his own side, the sons and grandsons. Then whom will show this kingdom to? That I have so much kingdom, so much wealth. Whom will I show to? And therefore, this is a typical mentality which we also have, and therefore we show much more. In nowadays, we have so many means to show. Now Facebook, Twitter, and so many social media has come, and we show that now I am going to this place. Now today I've eaten this and this. And actually, when we show much more than what is needed, then we are in trouble. So if we know now how this crime happens nowadays, so they go to our YouTube, for Facebook, and we show that I am going this. Oh, 1 month is not at home. Best time. Let us do the burglary in this home. And all the things are gone. So actually, to have this nature actually is not so good. We should be very humble, very on to the ground. There is a things to be shown, not these things, and it is not doing anything good anybody. So, but this is a typical calculation. The transcendent life, however, is different. Since the devotee wants to satisfy the desire of the Lord, he can, Lord willing, accept all kinds of opulence for the service of the Lord. And if Lord is not willing, he should not accept a farthing. So whatever we do is for the pleasure of Lord. Whatever we do is for the pleasure of Lord. And if Lord wants, we live in a bungalow. We have no problem. And if Lord doesn't want, we will not live in a bungalow, even if it is offered to us, because the ultimate satisfaction is that we will please the Lord. Of course, we will also see what helps us also to grow. So, like if somebody is of a Western body, is a devotee, he needs certain kind of facilities. He will not be able to stay and do his bhajan or kirtan. He is not given that facility. So according to the nature, the body which we have, we need certain facilities. We need a good life so that we can practice our bhajan properly, and that should be provided according to the person. But then we also see what God likes and do the needful. Arjuna did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna kill them personally. So Arjuna did not want anyone to be killed, and therefore he is told as Madhusudana, the one who killed the demon Madhu. So here Arjuna is saying that you kill. So at this point, he did not know that Krishna has already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. So whatever is to be done is already been done by Krishna, and this will be revealed in chapter number 11, when Bhagavad Krishna will himself tell that I have already killed everybody, you just do the needful. So in our life also, whatever victory we get, actually Krishna has arranged all the victory for us. We just need to follow his instruction. Whatever good is happening in our life, actually Krishna has done everything. And if something is not good, it's because of our past karmas. We should understand this very nicely. And therefore, we should not take credit for whatever we are doing. We can take some credit because we are putting some endeavor, but not 100% credit. Like suppose if a good building is being done and we are inaugurating that building. So who is that who has given the raw material, the cement, the bricks? It is natural material which is given by Lord. It is not that we have made all these things. See, we cannot manufacture actually. We just can transform the things. All the natural light, the heat, the water which is required for the construction, the raw materials, everything is given by the Lord. The land in which the building is standing is given by the Lord. If there is no land, and if Krishna doesn't want, he will want earthquake, the building will be gone. Then whom will you blame? There's nobody to blame. So if there is something wrong, we'll tell, oh, Krishna is not doing this, the God is unjust, and something good happen, you take all the credit. How it is, then you should also take the blame. But this we don't do. And therefore, we should not take all the credit for anything is done. And therefore, here also, if we see, Krishna has everything, done everything. So this fact is disclosed in following chapters. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against the miscreant cousins, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. So this is a very, very good combination. The devotee does not harm the person who does wrong to him, but Krishna doesn't tolerate, and he will do the needful. And therefore, if something wrong happens to us, what we should do? We should intensify our bhajan. We should intensify our prayers to Lord. We should intensify our devotion to Lord, and Krishna will do the needful. We did not retaliate to all the miscreants. And this we have seen in Bhagavatam in so many cases. Dhruva Maharaj was told by his stepmother, go and die. But what did Dhruva Maharaj did? He did bhakti of the Lord, and Lord did the needful. That doesn't mean that we will pray to the Lord that you do this wrong to this. No, we will not pray. We will just pray for the bhakti, and God will do the needful. If that person needs to be punished, Krishna will do. If the person needs to be released, Krishna will do. Our job is to develop devotion to the Lord, and other things will naturally follow. We need not do any other things. And therefore, for any problem in our life, which we have, our one solution is to chant Hare Krishna and be happy. To develop our connection with Lord and to intensify that connection with the Lord, all the other things will be resolved. We need not do separate endeavor for developing relationship, for financial problems, for interpersonal things, for other things. No. Main focus is develop relation with Krishna, and other things will gradually develop as per the need and circumstances. This is the core principle of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and all the literature scriptures, that what is there is we need to please the Lord and his devotees. If the Lord and his devotees, pure devotees, are pleased by us, everything in the life becomes very easy and simple. If they are not pleased, and whatever we do will not help us much. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. So, even Lord follows this principle. When Shishupal used to blaspheme Krishna, he didn't do anything. But in the Rajasuya Yajna, he did things. And same way, when others are blaspheming, there are atheists who blaspheme Krishna light times after. They say there is no God. Krishna is tolerating them. But when something is done to his devotee, Krishna does not tolerate that. And therefore, we should be very careful when we blaspheme a devotee, when we do something wrong to a devotee. Even if the devotee is wrong, we should not retaliate. At the same time, we should protect our bhakti. If that other persons or other devotees, something is harming our bhakti, then we should protect our bhakti. At the same time, we should not be offensive to the other devotee. So this is the very subtle thing which we need to practice in our devotional life if we want to progress faster in our life of devotion. Otherwise, it will take much more time and energy to grow in our devotional life. So let us go to verse number 36. So here also, if we see, Arjuna is giving us the reason that if we do this, sin will overcome us. Even if they are wrong, we should not do these things. So this is the third reason, which is starting from verse number 36 to 38, that fear of sinful reactions. So first was compassion, which we saw from verse number 20, 30, from 31, 35. He's saying that whom will I show all this victory to? No enjoyment. And the from third verse is, the third point for not fighting is from verse number 36 to 38, which is fear of sinful reactions. So let us chant this verse. Papam eva shayad asman hatvetanatatainam tasmanarha vayam hantum dhatarashtran sabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina shama madhavam. Papam, vices, eva, certainly, ashrayat, must come upon, asmanas, hatva, by killing, etan, all this, atataina, aggressors, tasmat, therefore, na, never, arha, deserving, vayam, we, hantum, to kill, dhatrashtan, the sons of Dhritarashtra, sabandhavan, along with friend, swajanam, kinsman, he certainly, katham, how, Hatwa, by killing, Sukina, happy, Shama will be become Madhava, or Krishna, husband of goddess of fortune. So again, if we see, Krishna is addressed as Madhava. So he's saying that you are goddess of fortune. You bring fortune to others. Why are you bringing this misfortune to me? See the words, see the way it is in the Sanskrit, the words which are used, the perfect poetry, the words is amazing, it's wonderful. But we cannot appreciate much because we don't know Sanskrit and we don't know these things. But the way it has been composed, the way it has been said, the one who is Sanskrit will understand the grammar, the words, the choice of words and all is very wonderful. Translation: sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So he's saying that sin will come over us. So actually, if we kill the aggressors, sin doesn't come to us because the problem is coming from opposite side. But still, he's saying that sin will come, otherwise it's not proper. So in Prabhupada clarifies the 6 types of aggressors and they can be killed. So according to the Vedic injunction, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. 1, a poison giver. So the person who gives poison, so we can kill that person because it's in self-defense. 1 who sets fire to the house. So if somebody wants to kill us by putting a fire, we can kill them. 1 who attracts with deadly weapons. So 1 who comes with deadly weapon, like nowadays maybe revolver or any other thing to kill us, then we can attack them. 1 who plunders riches. Somebody comes and plunders our house. 1 who occupies another land. So somebody by hook or crook takes our land. And 1 who kidnaps our wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. So now I think okay. So here further also Prabhupada will explain, but let us take this all examples. So poison giver. So Duryodhana had fed poison to Bhima when they were very small. They were given as poison cake. So this was already done. Then 1 who sets fire to house. So we know the Lakshagra episode where all were put and the house were made of wood and they were set into fire. So this was also be done. Then 1 who attacks with deadly weapons. So this is also be done in so many places, like in Virat kingdom also, and so many places. If we see all the army men had come to kill Pandavas and all, and it happened so many times again and again. Then 1 who plunders riches. So this has also been happened. They were thrown out of the kingdom. They went and asked for the 5, even the let's give the 5 villages only. This was also denied. So this is also done. 1 who occupies another land. So this is also be done because the land was theirs. They were actually the heirs because Pandu was the king and Yudhishthira Maharaj was first king. He was the actual the right, but he was not being given. So land is also taken, riches is also taken. And one who kidnaps his wife. So this was also done. Jayadatta also came, and then Dusasana and Duryodhana also tried to disturb Draupadi. So if we see, all these things have been done. The 6 types of aggressor, everything has been done. Therefore, if we see, uh, therefore, if we see, they are justified to kill Dhritarashtra and party. But still, Arjuna is saying, no, I will not kill. So such killing of aggressor is quite befitting in any ordinary man, but Arjuna was not any ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. So such a type of people, if are not killed, actually they will get more punishment from the karma law, because of law of karma. If they are killed now, they will get their due now, and later they will not suffer. So this is the law of karma. See, law of karma is also not whimsical. If you do certain things, if that punishment is not given now, you will suffer much more in the future life, and therefore that punishment is be given. And therefore here also, if we see, this all types of viruses, this punishment is given so that they will not suffer in future. But Arjuna is not an ordinary person, and therefore he is very saintly, and he does not want to deal, and he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. So this kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. So again, see, this saintliness is for person who is in a renounced order, or somebody who is a Brahmana, not for Kshatriya. Kshatriya duty is to use violence when needed, but this violence is for the protection of citizens, not the type of violence which people do now. The person who is in inferior position, the animals or something, they kill them in the name of Kshatriya. So that is not the type of things which you have done. The actual thing is to protect the people, and animals come in that category, and they should be also be protected. Although a responsible man in administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Rama Rajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Ram's wife Sita, but Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons unparalleled in the history of the world. So here example is given of Lord Ram. So if we see Prabhupada or Acharyas, if they will quote something, they will also give example what is happened in the past, future, in the past. So this is a very good thing. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. These three things should match. If somebody is there in Shastra but is not told by Guru, or if somebody is told by Guru is not there in Shastra, then we should cross check and then do the things. Because see, Guru may do something which is extraordinary. Like he may drink, like if you see Ramanacharya, he took Charnamrit, and in Charnamrit there was some poison which was mixed to kill him. That Charnamrita didn't affect Ramacharya because he was of that caliber. But if we drink the Charnamrita, we'll have fatal things. So we cannot imitate Acharyas. We need to follow the instructions. And that instructions and the Vani should match. If that doesn't match, then we should cross-check before doing something. Even Lord, he speaks something and he does something. So some of the things which he does shows his godliness. Because he is God, he can do anything. So we did not imitate. Like he lifted Govardhan Parvat. Can we lift? We did not imitate that things. He did Rasila. We did not imitate. And therefore, these are extraordinary things which he does to show his godliness. This doesn't show what we should do, but he has given his instruction in Bhagavad Gita, which we should follow. And this is what we are doing. And therefore, here also we see Lord Ramchandra was so saintly that people wanted to live in the kingdom of Ram. That is called Ram Rajya. And people are so anxious now also. They say that when the Ram Rajya will come. But when Ravana did something wrong, he gave him sufficient lessons, and he gave such lessons which is unparalleled, because not only he killed Ravana, but he killed all the so many demons. And if you see that time also, na, Rama did not take the kingdom. He did the right thing by killing Ravana, but he gave kingdom to Vibhishan. So the saintly people will correct the wrong thing, but will not take possession of the things or do unnatural things. So wherever there was some wrong, like Rama killed uh, the brother of Sugriva, Vari, but he did not himself rule the kingdom. He put Sugriva there. So like this, na, they will correct the situations, but they will not claim propership. Like this, we also should do the duty. But if we claim the propership, na, that this is mine, then there will be problem. Will be much problem. Because with propership also come so many other issues we will not be able to handle. And therefore, here also if we see, Rama gave sufficient lessons in the world of history. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, teacher, friends, sons, and grandson. These five generations are there: grandfather, father, grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, and grandsons. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such instructions for saintly person are more important than any political emergency. So here also if we say, so saintly persons are advised to forgive, and Arjuna had the character of saintliness. So this king are known as Raja Rishi. They are Raj also and they are Rishi also. This combination is a wonderful combination. If they become the main kingdom, na, the people will flourish in them, because they are the kings, at the same time they are rishis. They will be detached, but they will do the duty. And here also Arjuna is of a saintly person. So Arjuna considered that his old case of political, he should better forgive on the grounds of religion, and find saintly behavior. So here Arjuna is thinking to forgive them again. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily business or basically happiness. After all, kingdoms and the pleasure derived therefrom are not permanent. So why should he risk the life and eternal salvation by killing his own kingsmen? So see, what is directing him in life? It is the permanent spiritual goals which direct the material things also. So in our life also, whatever decision we take, our guiding principle should be devotional, the devotional things which we need, the permanent assets, that is, we want to go back to God in this lifetime. Whatever destination we may choose, it may be Golok Vrindavan, it may be Ayodhya, Saket, or it may be Vaikunta, it may be Dwarka, Mathura, or any Vaikunta planets. It may depend on person to person according to the mantra he chooses, according to guru he chooses. But the basic principle remains the same, that whatever one does now, the guiding principle is spiritual thing. That if I do this, will my spiritual life hamper or not? If it's the spiritual life is hampered, then what is the use of acquiring so many things? See, we need something for our sustenance. We should not be so much that I will live on the streets, I will live on, no, not practical for us, because we'll anyways will not be do our bhajan. But then for going higher and higher things now, like somebody wants to become a big political figure, or somebody wants to become a big person. So if it is by the fortune or by his क्या बोलते कर्म में लिखा है, by his luck ना, it's okay. But if somebody endeavors so much that he's not able to sleep, he's not able to do his daily quota of rounds, he's not able to practice spirituality, then he should consider, is it worth or not? Am I compromising my spiritual things for the worth of material things? If that is the case, then he should cross-check with seniors. he should cross-check with he or she, whatever he means. I'm using he because general thing, but he or she should cross-check with superiors whether they are doing the right thing or not. Otherwise, in the long run, for some petty things, he will lose his eternal life. And anyways, if we get very much richful, we have become the billionaire of this world. If suppose we become the billionaire also, this wealth will remain here only. Whatever we eat, 4 chapatis, 5 chapatis, we eat that much only, and whatever we use, we will use only. We cannot, after a certain point, we cannot use our wealth. And therefore, we should understand what is the North Pole which is guiding us. What is the guiding principle in our life? If the guiding principle in our life is not proper, then long run, we will lose much more than gain. And therefore, this is a very useful thing to learn. Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava, or the husband of goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees. So Arjuna is thinking that why he wants to bring misfortune in my life by making me to kill things, these things. So if we see now, Krishna is so merciful. Krishna is so loving, and Krishna has the heart. He will never ever let us to be in a situation which is not good for us. The problem with us is we don't understand the things as they are. And therefore, if we connect with Krishna, we'll never be losers. There are so many people who say that if we connect to Krishna, we'll become paupers, we'll lose taste in this material life. And there are so many wrong, we can say, accusations which are made on devotions and devotional life and devotees and Krishna. These are all wrong. If somebody connects with Krishna, he has only to gain in his life. There are no loss. There is no loss. There is no loss, no loss. See, sometimes it may be seen as there are losses, but actually there are no loss. And there are so many examples in this life we can see. Let us take some mundane example also. We know that in the past also, there was one person who wanted to go in Titanic, but because his son could not go, the whole family remained, and they were crying that how can God do this to us? How can God be so merciless that he has not let us to go in our journey, in our dream journey, which we have saved the money for? And then after some time, what happens? The Titanic sinks down. And then they are happy. Wow, God is good to me. If God had not been, we would also die. So now, in the first case, they are unhappy and they are blaming God. And then they are happy. So whose problem is this? Is God's problem? No, it's our problem. Our thinking should be changed. And therefore, our thinking is whatever God does is good. Whatever God does is best for us. Sometimes somebody is very obsessed that I want this job, I want this position, I want this only things. There was one devotee who was in political background, and he was in the party which was doing good, but the party had some problems, and the party had to do some adjustments and had to collaborate with another party. And what did they do is they removed this person because other person had to get that post, and the devotee became very unhappy. He told that I had done this, I have done my job very nicely. I'm not doing anything wrong in my job and post, and all others are doing wrong, but they are kept and I'm removed. But still, he thought that maybe Krishna's plan is there. I don't know. Let me do my devotion. He absorbed himself in devotion service because he thought that what can I do now? I'm already, my post is gone and so many things are happening against me, even though I am not at fault. So he was doing his devotional service. After some time, the next term came. And what happened is Again, the party won because of all the things they did. And then what the person who removed this devotee did, he gave a position which was 10 times better than the earlier position. And he told the situation, sorry, I had to remove at that point of time. If I have not done this, we have not won this war. And second, I had full confidence on you. If I remove you, you will not do anything wrong to us or the party. If we have removed the other person now, what he have done, he would be turned against us and he will go to other party and we will lose the so many other things. So I had full confidence that you will not do wrong and therefore I removed you. But ultimately, I like you so much that I am offering this position, which anyways I would have not offered to another person. So in this way, if we say now, the verse which is given by Krishna also, that wherever there is adharma, I'll come and remove. So this we should see as ultimate end, not the one which is going now. Because we don't know the overall life, what is going on the person or the climax. So the dharma will be done at the end, not in the middle. And therefore, we should have full confidence on Krishna that whatever is doing is good. So Krishna never brings misfortune to anyone to say this. And this example of Putna is given in Bhagavatam, that he kills Putna, but he is given is a position of a nurse in spiritual world. So if we can give such position to a killer of babies, then what position he will not give us to us if we do bhakti very nicely to Krishna. So next number 37, 38. यदि अपि एते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसा कुलक्षयं कृतं दोषं मित्रदोह च पातकं कथं न ज्ञेयम् अस्माभिः पापदस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षयं कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दनाम्. So yadi, if api even, ete de, no, do not, pashyanti see, lobha by greed, upahata overpowered, chetasa their hearts, kulashaya by killing the family, kritam dona, dosham fault, mitra Droha in quarreling with friends, cha also patakam, sinful reaction, katham, why, na, should not, gayam, be known, asma be by us, papat from sins, asmat, this nivartitam to cease, kulashaya in the destruction of the dynasty, kritam done, dosham crime, prapashyabhi by those who can see Janardana, O Krishna. So we may be thinking why we are reading this word to word meaning. This is a specialty of this book which Prabhupada has done, and he has spent nights and nights in giving this word to word meaning. And why we are doing this, when we do further, we'll understand that Prabhupada has given different meanings to the same word. And if we see the word and translation, we'll come to understand he has given something different in the word meaning and something different in translation also sometimes, according to the whole scenario and things which we need to understand, and therefore we are reading this word to word meaning also, because gradually, because of this, we'll be familiar with the words of Sanskrit and the meaning also, and gradually we'll be able to understand things better, but it will take its own time. But at present we are just reading this translation by Divine Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Prabhupada, O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by grief, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who have see the crime in destroying families, engage in this acts of sin? So here again, Krishna is addressed as Janardana. So Arjuna is again saying that you are Janardhan, who does good to others. Why we need to again kill them? Purport: a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. So many people ask why Yudhishthira Maharaj gambled. So this is a code of Kshatriya that when one is being called for a battle or gambling, he should. But not in today's time and age when gambling is considered sin. And it is not that something one does. If it's wrong, and there are some repercussions. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj did gambling, he had to suffer. So there is nothing comes free. So this war also which will go, there will be dharma which will be established, but there will be so many things which will go on. So whatever we do in life now, there are some price we need to pay. So Yudhishthira had also to pay, and we need not gamble. Under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could not see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. So, Arjuna was challenged by Duryodhana, but he considered that others may be blind, so why should I do the wrong thing? So, in many times now, if we see in life now, the person who is right, the person who is doing the right thing has to go down, because others may not understand what is right or wrong. So, in the case of Prithu Maharaj and Indra, we'll read all these stories. I'm just giving you a glimpse. We'll go these stories in detail, and I am committed to it. As long as you all are there, we'll do all these stories in a gradual way. So, in the case of Prithu Maharaj and Indra, Prithu Maharaj was right, Indra was wrong. But Lord Brahmaji and all told Prithu Maharaj to bow down and not Indra. Because of this, it solved all the problem. So now we may say, how Indra is wrong and Prithu Maharaj is told to bow down? Because Prithu Maharaj was more devoted, he had more intelligence, and he was more matured. And therefore, he was told that if you take a back seat, automatically things will be solved. And what happened? Because Prithu Maharaj took a back seat, eventually Indra also took a back seat. And then both the things and both the parties resolved their differences. So sometimes this needs to be done. Every time we cannot claim that I am right and I should do the justice. So in devotional life, if one goes for justice, if one believes in justice, if one fights for justice, he will lose mercy. Can you understand this? If one fights for justice, he will lose mercy. Now, when I say this, it should be taken in a balanced manner. If something wrong is happening to us, and tolerance is an internal thing, but externally, we may do something which are needed. Like suppose if a theft is opening our house, internally maybe understanding that it's Krishna's desire, because of him the theft is happening, otherwise how will theft happen to me? And I should understand, but externally, we should do police complaint or whatever is needed. We should do the things. But internally, we should not be irritated. Oh, how can this theft happen to my house? I have done nothing wrong. We should understand Krishna's plan. What can be done? So internally, we should be satisfied and calm, and externally, we should do the needful. This is a way of doing the work. Like if somebody comes and beats us, so internally, we may understand Krishna's desire, what can be done? Because Krishna wants us to take a beating because I have done something wrong in my past life. But externally, we may try to defend ourselves, we may do a police complaint, whatever is needed, so that the situation is on the way. It depends on circumstances. We may or we may not do. Sometimes we may not even do a police complaint, whatever is needed. It all depends on circumstances. But internally, we should be convinced of that not even a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. If something is happening to us, it is sanctioned by the Lord, and therefore it's happening to me. This should be our inner conviction. And this is the way how we should live life. Externally, If we are in the position to tolerate that thing, we may tolerate. If we are not in the position, we may speak our heart and tell Krishna, this you are doing is for my good, but I am not able to tolerate. Please help me this way. Or whoever are authorities or whatever it is. These are the deeper principles of devotional service. These are the secrets of devotion. And therefore, it is called as Guhyam. Because one may read all this Bhagavad but will not be able to understand all these principles. These principles can come to the heart of a devotee and through the Puru Parampara only. And therefore, Prabhupada is writing all this for us. So these things cannot be revealed to us. We will not be able to understand the intricacies or the finer aspects of dharma or spiritual life. It is if it has not been explained to us by our acharyas. And therefore, this is called a secret. One may read this, oh, this is wrong, but we will not be able to understand the things. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. So, any obligation is good when it is good. Otherwise, it's not good, not bounding. When the effect is not bad. So Arjuna thinks in all this way and decides that. And see, why obligation is not good? Because other party is getting harmed. See here, Arjuna is not thinking that obligation is not good because I am getting harmed. He is thinking of the other party only. And therefore he is saying no need to fight. So Arjuna now is deciding not to fight. And now from verse number 39 to 43, that is almost end of the chapter. So the fourth aspect, discussion of family tradition. We discuss the fourth reason why Arjuna did not fight. And the last reason which Arjuna did not fight is given in the last chapter. So I think I will pause here. If somebody has any questions or any